All right, good morning class. And today in Mr. Poole's online learning class, you are going to learn how to multiply by 10, 100s, and 1000s. And I'll show you how that fits into our place value talk, what we were talking about a few weeks ago, okay? So first of all, to multiply by a 2-digit number or 3-digit number, I think Miss Dumas showed you this last year, so I'm going to re-show you that first, and to make sure you know how to do that. So let's say you had 15 and you were going to multiply it times 5. This is how you multiply a 2-digit number or 3-digit number by a 1-digit number. So first you multiply this number by the ones place. So 5 times 5 is 25. So you're going to put down the ones, you're going to carry the tens to the next place value. So then again, you're going to go 5 times 1. This time you're going to do the 5 times the tens place. So 5 times 1 is 5, plus 2 is 7. You're going to put that down because there's nothing else, we're done. So your answer would be 75. Let me show you that again. Okay, let me show you that again. I'll redo that. Let's do 123 times 4. Okay? All right, first we're going to do the 4 times the ones place. So that's 12, right? So we're going to put the ones column down. The tens column is going to go up here, and I always circle it. I always circle the tens column up here, the number I carry. Okay, so now we're going to take the 4 times the tens column. So 4 times 2 is 8, and we're going to add what we put up here. So 4 times 2 is 8, plus 1 is 9. So we're going to put that down there because there's nothing to carry forward. It's only 9, it's not above 10, so it's nothing to carry forward to the next one over here. So now we're going to do 4 times 1, and that is 4. There's nothing to add above it, so 4 times 1 is 4, and your answer would be 492. Okay, so that's probably what you learned in 3rd grade. Miss Dumas had probably taught you that in 3rd grade. If not, that's how you do it. It's just simple. First you multiply this number, then you go to this number, then you go to this number. Just like that. Okay? So now we go to multiplying by 10 or 100 or 1,000. So if I have 5 times 10, I do the same thing. 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 1 is 5. And there's your answer. It's 50. Okay, multiplying times 100. Let's say we'll do times 7. 7 times 0 is 0. 7 times 0 is 0. 7 times 1 is 7. There's our answer. Okay? It's pretty easy. It's pretty easy. Let's do times 1,000. Okay, let's do 8. 8 times 0 is 0, 8 times 0 is 0, 8 times 0 is 0, 8 times 1 is 8, and there you get your 8,000 is your answer. So multiplying times a single digit number is pretty easy. It's pretty easy. You just multiply each of them and put them down, okay? Now, what happens when this is a 2-digit number down here? Then it gets a little more complicated, but I'm going to show you a way I'm going to show you a way that it's a strategy that it works 100% of the time. Okay, so it's not a trick, it's not a gadget, it's not something that doesn't work every time. It works 100% of the time. So we call that a strategy. Okay, all right. So let's say you had 85 times 10. Okay, and you would say, well, Mr. Poole, we don't know how to multiply a two-digit number by a two-digit number yet. And you're right. You're right. But in order to solve this problem, you don't have to know how to do a two-digit by two-digit number yet. That's why I teach you this first before I even teach you two-digit by two-digit numbers, because it is a strategy that works every time, that is so simple that anyone can do it. Okay, so pay attention very closely and you're going to find out an awesome way to do these problems. And this only works when you're multiplying times 10, 100, or 1,000. So I'm multiplying times 10, so it's going to work. So what you do is I cover up the zeros. I'm doing 85 times 1. So 85 times 1. Well, if you know from multiplication, anything times 1 is itself. It's the same number. So if I might multiply anything times 1, it's the same number. So I'm going to cover up that 0. 85 times 1 is what? 85. So I'm going to write down the 85. Now, the 0 I covered up, I simply put it on the end. And look what I get. 850. And if I had my calculator here, it would prove to you that 85 times 10 is 850. And if you have a calculator there at home, you can go ahead and check me. But I know this is right. It's 850. Okay, so let's try another one. Let's do 136 times 10. Okay, you're thinking, wow, Mr. Poole, these are really big numbers. Okay, but you're gonna simply do it and you're not even gonna have to work it out because the strategy works 100% of the time. Let's cover up that 0. 136 times 1 is 136, right? So 136 times 1 is 136. Put the 0 on the end. There I have my answer. It's 1,360. And again, check me on the calculator. It's right. It's right. Okay? Because it works 100% of the time. Now, let's get rid of these times 10. Times 10 is pretty easy, isn't it? Okay? All right. You're going to use the same thing, same way if you're multiplying times 100. Okay? So let's look at this. Let's look at 79 times 100. Okay? And you can put the 100 on the top, the bottom. I like to put it on the top or bottom, it doesn't matter. So you're gonna again cover up those zeros. 79 times 1. 79 times 1 is 79. Put the 2 zeros on the end, and there you have your answer, 7,900. Okay, let's look at a bigger one. 235 times 100. Okay, let's see if we can do this one. Again, it's really simple. Okay, cover up the zeros. What's 235 times 1? 235. Put the 2 zeros on the end, and then make sure you put the right comma in there. Ones, tens, hundreds, comma. Ones, tens, okay, 1,000s, 10,000s. Okay, again, just cover up those zeros. Put 235 times 1 is 235. Put the 2 zeros on the end, then go put in your commas. Okay, let's try it times 1,000. Yeah, guys, you're gonna multiply things times 1,000, and you're gonna be able to do it right up here in your head. Okay, let's do these. Let's do...
Mr. Winans, please go to Miss Ali's room. Mr. Winans, go to Miss Ali's room.
So, 678 times 1,000. And then we're gonna do this big one. Watch this. We're gonna do 5,736 times 1,000. Wow, can you believe you're gonna do that problem? And you're gonna do it all right up here real fast. Watch this, 678 times 1,000, cover up those zeros. What's 678 times 1? Yeah, it's the same number, it's 678. So I'm gonna write 678, but I'm not gonna write any commas in here yet. Then I'm gonna put the 3 zeros on the end. So I take those 3 zeros, put them on the end. Now I'm gonna put my commas in. Ones, tens, hundreds, comma. Ones, tens, hundred thousands, comma. But I don't need to put it because there's no other digits in here. So I just put 1 comma. Ones, tens, hundreds, ones, tens, hundred thousands, right? These are the thousands. 1,000s, 10,000s, 100,000s. Okay, very good. So that's your answer, and check me on a calculator if you don't believe me. It's right. Okay, watch this one. Cover up the zeros. What's 5,736 times 1? Well, it's 5,736. Put the 3 zeros on the end, and then let's put our commas in. Ones, tens, hundreds, comma, 1,000s, 10,000s, 100,000s, comma. 1 millions, right? So that's 5,736,000, and that's our answer. So we just solved this problem in our head really quick. So by multiplying by tens, 100s, and 1,000s. Now let me show you how you do this on the place value. So if you have, let me do it in a different color here. So I'm gonna leave this one up here, and I'm gonna show you how to move the place value over. So say you have 5,300 or 5,736. So there's a decimal place right here, isn't there? We don't put it in there because that's a whole number, but there is a decimal place there. Now, if you're multiplying times 1,000, that means you're gonna move the decimal place 3 spots. For every 0 there is, you're gonna move it 1 spot. So if there's 3 zeros, you're gonna move it over 3 spots. So watch. 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna now move that decimal place right there. I'm gonna fill these in with zeros. So the decimal place isn't here anymore. I moved it. So comma, and look, we get the same number by moving the decimal place 3 times. Okay, so I get that same answer. So if I'm multiplying times, let's say I'm doing this problem. Let's say I'm doing 806 times 100 over here. So I'm gonna cover up those 2 zeros. What's 806 times 1? It's 806. I'm gonna put 2 zeros on the end. Ones, tens, hundreds, comma. There's my answer, 80,600. So I'm gonna do it over here, 806, there's my decimal. Now, I'm multiplying times 100, so I'm gonna have to move the decimal over how many spots? 2 spots. So let's move it over. 1, 2 spots, So now my decimal is going to be over here. It's not going to be over here anymore. So now I'm going to fill in with zeros. And look at that. Same answer. Same answer. Okay, so you can get the answer two different ways. You can get it by multiplying, by covering up the zeros, multiplying this times 1 is this, putting the zeros on the end. Or you can get it by writing the number up here, putting the decimal point in, and then moving it over 3 spots. Okay, and that's how math is all connected. See, it's all a pattern, guys. It's all connected together. So multiplying by 10, 100, and 1,000. These guys are really easy, and you don't want to miss any of these, because these, if you use this strategy right here, you shouldn't ever miss any of these problems. Okay? All right, well, happy learning. I hope you have a good day of learning. All right, bye guys. Bye. Bye. Have a good day.